Before we get started, do me a favor and smash that like button. I'd appreciate it. Good morning, LT. We're going to cover the where the rewards come from for the liquidity pool. And so you're out there in Arizona somewhere in the desert, and welcome.
Well, good morning. Yes, it is the desert. I'd say it's cooler than usual, and we got rain again yesterday. So they're enjoying some cool weather and rain right now, which of course everything needs that water to continue through the summer that's coming. So
Yeah,
glad to be here.
my weather thing says 61 degrees and dense fog. It's like, oh boy, I'm glad I'm not having to drive.
It's not the best way to do it, probably.
Yeah.
So back to our discussion about the about T-bill and where it gets its price. So the reward system and how it works is quite unique compared to other LP or liquidity pool and how they work. And because there's never been a liquidity pool like this one, people will naturally assume that it works like other liquidity pools. And you have issues that you have with other liquidity pools, such as inflation of the coin and therefore debasement of the price, or you have impairment loss because you're pairing two coins together.
Impermanent loss.
Yes, yeah. Impermanent. I say that wrong every time. Impermanent. It's because it's not permanent. It's loss that's not permanent. Impermanent loss because the value of one side of the LP or the other is going up or down faster than the other side. So that would create this impermanent loss. And so this pool is neither inflationary nor does it mitigates impermanent loss through a mechanism. So this pool is different. And so the question keeps being asked and people keep wanting to know, well, where do the rewards come from? And the very short answer to that is the rewards come from the pool itself to pay to the LP holders and the holders of the LP. So
the providers of the liquidity.
Right, the providers of the liquidity, but as a provider, you're also bought, if you will, an LP token. And so you do hold an LP token, and that token represents your share or a portion of that pool. And and there is a value to that token. That's something that they've added recently to the staking page, so you can see what the current value of your token, your LP token, is. But back to the reward and where it comes from. So the first thing we need to talk about when we're talking about the reward system is to understand what rebasing is. This is a rebasing coin and we must understand what rebasing is. So we've been over this before, so we'll just cover it again for those that are new and say, well, there's a target price. This target price is derived from the 2019 US dollar value, and the T-bill token is trying to maintain that target price. So it's the 2019 US dollar based on the CPI. And so as we go along, this target price will be adjusted to reflect what the CPI of the US dollar is for the given year. And that's why we can say that this is also an inflation hedge, because it is taking into account the adjusted CPI dollar. So that in itself is a bonus holding this particular token. So it is accounting for the changing US dollar price or value. So this value that they have that they're trying to hold right now is $8.1. And so as the price of T-bill goes up or goes down, they're tracking that, and they get a daily average as we go through the day. They have a daily average, and if the price of the coin goes plus or minus 5%, then it will rebase to bring the price of the coin, or to nudge the price of the coin in the direction it needs to go. So in simple terms, if the price is going up, then that would indicate that there's not enough supply of the coin available. So there would be an expansion of the number of tokens that you need. If the price is going down, that would indicate that there is too much supply and there would be a contraction. They're always trying to maintain equilibrium, which is plus or minus, within plus or minus 5% of the target price. And that target price can be seen also on the tbill.io staking page. So you know where the price is, what the average price is, and what the current price is. And they're going to rebase depending on which way that is moving. And they're just trying to maintain just the right amount of supply that is needed. So we know the price of T-bill derives its price. T-bill drives its price straight from T-fuel, because we can take the amount of T-fuel in the liquidity pool. We can multiply that by the price of T-fuel, and then divide that total by the amount of T-bill, and we will then come out with the current price of T-bill. And so T-bill is getting its price directly from T-fuel. And of course we should know that, because how did we get T-bill in the first place? We obtained T-fuel, and we put T-fuel into the liquidity pool by swapping T-fuel for T-bill. Therefore we paid for or bought T-bill with T-fuel. So the price of T-bill comes from T-fuel. So there's the two things we need to know: that the pool itself will contract or expand based on what the demand is, and the price of that T-bill will be derived from the price of T-fuel. So if T-fuel is going down, that would indicate that T-fuel is going down in price. Then that's going to indicate that T-bill is going to go down in price, and we would then need to have a contraction to soak up some of those coins to get the price back where we need to keep it.
And an important point to mention when it comes to the rebasing is whatever percentage of the total supply that you have is maintained, you will have the same percentage of the total supply after a rebase as you did, of T-bill after the rebase as you did before. So if you had 1% of the supply, you will have 1% afterwards as well. And the total value is the same before and after a rebase. If you look at that portion of the staking tab, you'll notice the dollar value on the left and the dollar value on the right after the rebase is the same. So you don't lose any money. It's like you having a $5 bill, and I take that $5 bill and give you 5 ones. You still have $5. It's just in $1 bills instead of a $5 bill.
Correct. So that's the first thing that we need to understand. Yes, exactly. You're going to maintain your percentage of T-bill always, and your percentage of the pool, the total LP pool, if you're provided liquidity to the pool, that's going to change based on how many people are coming into or going out of the pool.
And the swapping activity that occurs.
Right.
If more people
swapping activity that occurs.
Yeah. If more people are swapping T-fuel for T-bill, then when they swap T-fuel for T-bill, that means that T-fuel is entering the LP and T-bill is leaving the LP. But typically when they're doing that, they are then pairing the T-fuel with the T-bill that they just obtained and putting it into the liquidity pool.
Right. And this would be why your numbers of T-bill or T-fuel would seem to change
Every 10 minutes, yep.
Yep. Every 10 minutes, and you look at the numbers in that top block of the T-bill staking page, and you go, why did I didn't sell or get out? Why am I have less activated T-bill or less total activated T-fuel? So it doesn't seem to make sense, but it's because we typically are using what we know, which is a knowledge of a different type of pool, to apply to this one. And that's why I say you've got to think of this differently, because it does not work in the same way other pools work. So it's a rebasing token, and that is it's actually ingenious. I believe it's something that other pools will have to go to, that over time people are going to find this and they're going to figure out this is a better system. So
yeah,
but we'll see.
The thing to point out is if somebody looks at their history, every time you see the T-bill number, if it went down from the previous 10 minutes and you didn't do anything, you will notice that in almost every case the number of T-fuel that it shows went up. If it didn't, then that's
Right.
because the change was so minute that, if it's only showing 3 places to the right of the decimal, the change was further out than 3 places. So you don't see the change listed there, but it happened.
Right. So watching these numbers tick up and down, we do that thinking that is what's providing what we have in there.
Yeah.
And it is what you actually have in that pool. If you were to get out of the pool, sell your LP tokens back to the pool, that is, and get T-fuel and T-bill, that's how many you would be awarded or put into your wallet. But it's not a good indication as to whether you're making money or not. So and right now the thing that we can count on is that we are making 50% APR
or
more, right, depending on your T-bill multiplier that you have or don't have, but you are making 50% APR in T-bill. And so let's talk a little more about how that T-bill, where it comes from, that they pay out. And so we've talked about the rebates and how that works, and we've talked where the price of T-bill comes from. So let's talk about how this is not inflationary. So if they're paying out, and they pay out the T-bill straight from the LP, and so you go, well, if they're paying out T-bill from the LP, then the rewards, you could say that the rewards you're receiving are being printed, and that would then be inflationary as compared to another staking pool. However, most of these other staking pools, their reward token is got no use case other than for paying the rewards. And so if somebody decides that they need to take their rewards and sell them so that they can do something else with the rewards, then that creates downward pressure on the price of that particular token, and there needs to be somebody there to buy it to stop the price from going down, or even cause the price to go up if there's more buyers than there are sellers of that particular token. So that works correctly. Those tokens work directly on a supply and demand price mechanism, and as demand goes up, the price is going to go up, and supply goes down. And then opposite is also true. If supply is increasing, demand is decreasing, then the price is going to continue to drop. So that's an inflationary token. We don't have that case because of the rebasing. If supplies is going up, which means demand is dropping, or at least the price is dropping, then we have a rebase to soak up some of that supply to keep the price supported. So there's one way the price of T-bill supported is we simply remove part of the, or some of the liquidity, some of the T-bill itself from the pool. Same with on the other side, if the price is going up, then there's not enough T-bill and a rebase takes place, adding supply. So the price of T-bill is supported by the rebase mechanism itself. Just like we said, the way you get T-bill is to swap T-fuel to get T-bill. And so now there's T-fuel that is available to swap back the other way. So the price of T-bill is also supported or backed by the LP itself, and that's the tokens of the amount of T-fuel that's in the system. So there's a stabilizing effect right there with T-bill. And then thirdly, the way T-bill price is supported is different from other pools, is the use case for the token, that is T-bill itself. Now, at the current moment, we don't have these other use cases in place, but we're very early on in this process. This just started over a month ago with the pool, and you got to have the liquidity pool before you can have these other functions, such as the G-World Metaverse, the G-Twins, and marketplace or stores that are going to be set up there. And then, of course, the GTX wallet, all and what it will do. And these are all going to be use case scenarios for T-bill itself. You will need T-bill to operate inside of the G-World Metaverse. You will need T-bill to make your G-Twin or buy clothing or shoes or whatever your G-Twin needs. That's going to create use case. You will need T-bill in your GTX wallet to do some things with that wallet, to have complete liquidity in that wallet.
Yeah,
you're going to need T-bill.
There's a parallel to that in that if you go onto Open Theta as an example and you want to buy an NFT on Open Theta, the only currency that you can purchase that NFT with is T-Fuel. Well, by the same token,
correct,
within the metaverse, the G-World Metaverse, and those other areas that you mentioned, the only currency that you can use is T-bill. So you will have to get the T-bill from the LP. That's how you will get it. And no matter what the supply is, how high the supply goes, it's irrelevant, because the value of the T-bill token is derived from the LP and is maintained at that $8 plus or minus 5%. So it's, they could double or triple the supply of T-bill. It doesn't matter. One T-bill is always going to be worth $8 plus or minus 5% because of the rebasing mechanism.
Right. And there will be the right amount of T-fuel to pair with that T-bill in the pool, because the price of T-bill comes from T-fuel. And so it's really a great discovery. It's not inflationary, and they're constantly trying to keep the right amount of supply.
Right.
Not too much and not too little. And so, the rewards do come from the pool. Now, the pool itself makes money, of course, or gains value, let's say, because every time a swap is made, there's a fee paid to the pool, whether the fee is paid in T-bill or sometimes the fee is paid in T-fuel. And so fees are being generated with every swap, and these fees are added to the pool and there's a way to figure how much fees have been created and what your percentage of that is. If you really want to get into the nitty gritty of it, you can get in there and figure that out. So the pool itself is earning fees, T-fuel and T-bill, that then becomes a part of your percentage of the pool. So whatever percentage of the pool you hold, if more T-fuel has been earned through swapping, then you hold a larger percentage of the T-fuel. And same with T-bill and your LP. So fees are being generated. Right now, probably there are not enough fees generated to support paying all the rewards. And so the G-Pool team does have a treasury, and that treasury is also supporting the pool as necessary. But you can watch that treasury over on Etherscan, because the token itself is an Ethereum token, ERC20 token. And so you can go into Etherscan, look up Theta Cash, and see exactly what the treasury is, how many tokens have been produced, and what's in the treasury. And you can also see how many coins come out of the treasury and go to the pool. And that's at any given time, whenever it happens. There's only 3 different wallets that the treasury resides in.
Okay, this is the end of part 1, so now you get to go watch part 2 as soon as it comes out, which will be shortly. Well, that's a wrap for this presentation, so cue the music. If you enjoyed the video, then hit that thumbs up for me, and I'll see you in the next video.